first race of the Americas region here for the season, and we have a Snowball Derby event. Super late models at Five Flags for you. I'm Sky Shrek up here in the booth. I'm joined by Mike Taylor, and we're going to get straight into it here with an LCQ. I believe it is top 6 drivers advancing to the feature out of the 19 in our LCQ. Mike Wagner on pole. Eric De La Riva will go from P2. Back on row 2, it's Brian McGreevy and Jason Lotridge. P5, Christian Abate and Wayne Hutchison goes from 6, that final transfer spot. Jason Wallet in the 114 goes from P7. Mark Herzog in P8. Joseph Cardamone in P9. Travis Warling in P10. David Baker, 11th. Matthew Baum in P12. 13th, Jeff Schmeier. 14th, Mike Golightly. As we head back through our final 5 cars, it's David Schmidt in the 654 in 15th. Brian Barnes in the 4 in P16. Greg McEnany in the 35 and 17th. Matt Gelder in P18. And last car on the field tonight is the 19, Robert Northway. As we get ready to roll here for our first race. The LCQ top 8 cars will advance into the feature race here tonight. Is there anything, Mike, that you're really looking at here from these drivers who try to advance to the main?
Yeah, I'm just absolutely excited to get this thing underway here. You know, this LCQ is going to be absolutely packed with tight, close quarters racing all around, as these drivers are going to duke it out for 50 laps to determine who the top 6 will be that will advance to the A main shortly after this race.
It's going to be a good one here for sure, because all of these drivers want to make the A main, and you're going to see some tight racing. Pace car pulls off. Green flag is out for Mike Wagner and Eric De La Riva up on the front row, and it's a great jump for that 28 Carl Wagner. Sends it off deep into turn 1, and the caution is going to fly already. We've got Joseph Cardamone in the wall in turn 1.
Yeah, that did not take long whatsoever for the caution to come out here at Five Flags. As you see Joseph Cardamone move away from the incident back in turn number 1. It looks like Brian McGreevy was also involved. Let's go ahead and go back, take a look, see what happened.
Started between Cardamone and that was Mark Herzog behind him. Cardamone just came up the road. I think he thought he was clear. He was not actually clear. Made some pretty heavy contact there with that 57 car Herzog and caught some serious air there as well before that car ultimately came to a rest up against the outside wall. His hopes of making the A-main might be done because that car is still stuck in bits.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. As you see, it gets absolutely airborne there. And, you know, these guys do have one fast repair. So, you know, as long as he unchecked his tires and fuel, he might be okay to get back out before going a lap down.
Looks like he is going to take that fast repair here, but he is going to start at the back. And with only 50 laps here in the LCQ, he's going to have a lot of ground to make up if he wants any real threat of making it back into the top 8 here for our transfer to the main event. As it's still mostly the same order up front, didn't really get any passing. Travis Warling went from 10th to 8th to take that final transfer spot. Other than that, it's Mike Wagner, Eric De La Riva, McGreevy, Lotridge, and Abate still up there in that top 5 spots. Jason Wallet 6th, Wayne Hutchison 7th as well, sitting in a transfer position as we remain under the pace car and get ready to go. Biggest mover so far looks to be Jeff Schmeier, 13 to 9. He's going to need a couple more than P9 if he wants to make that main event here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. These drivers, they've got a lot on their plate. You know, it's a lot of stress trying to get from, you know, from the LCQ back to the A main. And then you're going to turn around, not only do these 50 laps, then you got to turn around and do 300 more. So it's definitely going to be a very long night for these guys here in the LCQ that do advance. And as of right now, Wagner, he's the one that had a really good jump that on the start there. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do coming to the green.
It's going to be very interesting for all of these cars as we're back double file. Mike Wagner, Eric De La Riva, and it's another great jump for Wagner there from that pole position. Flies off down into turn 1 as we start lap 6. De La Riva pulls in behind. Meanwhile, we're still side by side for 3rd. We got Brian McGreevy on the inside of Jason Lotridge. They're going to make contact, and the 03 car is around. Caution flies.
Yeah, quite a few cars involved in this one in the entry to turn 3. Yeah, so I mean, Mark Hertz is involved. That 03 Lot Ridge is involved. There's a lot of cars involved in this one. So let's try to go back and dissect this one as we go.
Yeah, they wrecked a little bit further up there too. McGreevy ended up going around, and we had a whole stack up there as a result of that spin. McGreevy just gets into Jason Lotridge down here in the corner. Looks like one car came down, one car came up. They kind of meet in the middle, and that sends that 03 around. Slows up the 68 pretty heavily, and you almost get a second wind on this accident because McGreevy takes a hit from behind from Christian Abate. Wayne Hutchison goes in there as well. You see three cars spinning all over the road. I think Jason Wallet also took some pretty decent damage in that, hit that outside wall. Wonder if he is going to opt for a fast repair as you see more cars
Oof.
get involved down there on the inside of the racetrack.
Yeah, I want to go back and ride on board here with Matthew Baum in that number 8 machine, as he had a pretty good bird eye view of this whole incident. So we're gonna ride on board with him and watch how quick he was to avoid all this incident.
We'll go on board and we'll see that right here.
Oh,
Oh, barely. Oh, wow. Barely snuck through not one, but about two or three different cars there to keep that thing moving.
and he probably went from like 15th all the way up to 8th. So he's almost in that transfer spot now. So really good driving by that driver of that number 8 machine.
Yes, it was. As we take a look there, Matthew Baum, currently the last driver in a transfer position, sitting in P8, started back in P12. So those incidents have already kind of shaken up the field a bit. One example, Jeff Schmeier has gone from 13th all the way up to 6th. Travis Warling, 10th up to 5th as well. So a lot of drivers who started back in that 5th to 10th range, taking pretty heavy damage as a result of that, promoting quite a few drivers newly up here into these podium positions. Joseph Cardamone did not benefit. He is a lap down. Pace car will pull in. It's Mike Wagner on the jump once again as we go back green on lap 10 of 50. He is flying away from everybody else so far in this LCQ. Della Riva's done a good job of sticking it behind him. Those teammates there in that same car. And you got McGreevy and Warling also in the same car behind him. Wayne Hutchison sits 5th.
Yeah, it's so interesting to see, two different teams running first, second, third, and fourth, as we have another incident back here, and it's another parking lot out of turn number 4. Wallet is involved once again.
Jason Wallet with a pretty heavy hit down there in that 114 car. Actually, Jason Wallet didn't take any hits. Jason Wallet just stopped his car to avoid the melee that had begun in front of him. We're going to start with David Schmidt and Brian Barnes right here. Barnes will go a little bit deep in the corner, makes contact with Schmidt. They tag that 57 car of Mark Herzog involved in another one under him. And this all goes up the road. Greg McGeeney, Christian Abate is that red car on the outside. All 5 of those cars taking some damage.
Yeah, these drivers are definitely in. We have to absolutely get going. And it's just not working out very well for this lot just yet. So they need to start settling down a little bit here and get into some sort of rhythm so that they can actually start making progress through the field.
I think pretty much everybody is going to want to get some green flag laps in here over the next 35, 40 laps or so as Mike Wagner continues to hold the lead. Eric Dalla Riva continues to sit second, and those cars really haven't had any opportunity to race. McGreevy is still hanging out in third as well there. He's been able to get some good runs on the inside and hold his position over the course of this one. Warling 4th, Hutchison 5th. It's like a pretty similar running order to what we had last time we went green. I don't think there were any big moves up front as that wreck happened a little deeper back in the field. Joseph Cardamone has gotten his lap back, so he will be back on the lead lap when we go back green here on, I believe it's going to be around lap 17 or 18. Mark Herzog has called it quits. He will be the first driver to DNF from our LCQ tonight.
Well, good thing, with Mark, they also have the opportunity to go down to split 2 to run over there as well. So it's not exactly a dang if you don't finish this race. It's just you will not be here in the top split when it's all said and done.
Yeah, but everybody wants to make the top split of this race. That's what these drivers are fighting for in this LCQ. Ultimately, only 8 of the now 18 drivers on the track with Herzog's DNF are going to be able to do that. as we get lined back up 2 by 2 and we get set to go green here before too long. It's going to once again be Wagner and Eric Dallariva on that front row. The teammates there in those black and red cars have been dominant pretty much this entire time, and they'll hope for some green flag laps so they can maybe do battle up front. Green flag back out. Another great jump for Wagner. Another great jump for Dellariva. Almost a battle for third there. It'll be a battle for fourth instead as Warling takes P3 away. Brian McGreevy drops back to fourth. He's got Jeff Schmeier on his outside in that 30 car, trying to break up that teammate tandem there in third and fourth. McGreevy gets the spot. He's clear to P4 off the corner.
Yeah, so far both teams here in the top four have not let anybody go through, as we have another issue, but this time it's going to be for Christian Abbott in that number 09 machine.
That is, I want to say, the third incident he's been involved in. It just keeps getting worse for that 09 car, Christian Abbott, and he is... Well, this is going to be some contact with Jason Wallace. This is about the second or third incident he's been involved in as well. Keeps getting worse for him. They're going to come together right there on that inside line in the corner, and the 09 is going to get looped around. I don't know if that's really on Wallet there. I think that was more Abate making a bit of an aggressive move down to the inside.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely... These guys know with, these laps taken away, it's go time, and, they've spent already almost half of this race under caution. So, right now we're looking at Robert Northway. Wayne Hutchinson in that number 17. He's currently in that 6th spot. So all he's got to do is keep everybody behind him, and he's going to be golden to get into the main feature.
As we look right now, I mean, the issue with this for some of these cars at the back is that obviously they're desperate to get back up to the front. They want to be in that top 8 so they can advance. But the issue is, if you're one of those cars like Wallet, like Abate, that keeps getting involved in these accidents, the more accidents you get involved in, the more laps run off under caution, and then you just don't have as much time to actually get up there. So it can't just be all-out mad dash. You've got to have some measured aggression, or else you're going to end up in trouble. And even just being pretty conservative can work out for you here. I mean, Matt Gelder, Robert Northway started in the last 2 spots on the field. They're 8th and 9th. Gelder has that last transfer spot. Northway's trying to take it away from him.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens back in that 6th spot, as we finally try to get this thing underway here once again. Looking at the guys that have an opportunity, to actually get themselves into this this race that's out of the top 6 right now, I'm watching Robert Northway there in that number 46.
We will see if Northway is able to jump up that 1 spot he needs to get himself into the field. Pace cars back off. It's green once again with a great jump for the 28 of Mike Wagner. Eric Dellariva follows him, but he's finally got a challenge. The 90 of Travis Warling going after it right down there in that purple and blue car on the inside. He's finally got a run on Dellariva. That 11 car hasn't been challenged at all so far tonight, but he does a good job of defending. He'll get that clear of the 90, and Warling will have to set up for another move. Behind him, Jeff Schmeier continues to take peeks at the 68 of Brian McGreevy. That battle's not done with either. For the final transfer spot, Robert Norway has just passed Matt Gelder.
Yeah, laps
continue to do battle throughout the field. Go ahead.
Yeah, laps are now definitely starting to tick away here as we are finally getting a really good green flag run in here. We have 25 laps to go this time. Mike Wagner is still not looking back as he leads this field through turns 1 and 2.
No, he's not. It's Dellariva. Almost looks like he's going to try to set up a move here, but I don't think he's going to be too aggressive with it because top 8 to advance. He's got a teammate in front of him. It'd be pretty risky here if he sent something in on that teammate. Maybe it didn't work, and now they're both on the back foot. With only 24 laps left, less than halfway to go in this LCQ. Warling isn't affiliated with those guys, though. He is going to absolutely push it over these last 2 laps to try to improve his starting position. As we see him do, the gap between 8th and 9th only continues to get bigger. Northway is starting to pull away from Matt Gelder, who is not having a great time back there in P9. Northway Northway's closer to David Baker in 7th than anything else.
Yeah, these drivers are definitely, you know, trying to give it all that they got here, in the closing laps. As you know, I believe it's actually the top 6 that advance. Let me.
It's the top 8.
Oh, it is the top 8. Okay, yeah. So that's my bad. I thought it was top 6. But yeah, so I mean, right now Robert Northway, he's absolutely just killing it back here in that number 46. But Gelder, if he wants to catch him, he's going to have to start pulling something out of his pocket here, as that separation between the two are definitely growing at this point.
Separation is really growing between that group and then also growing between the top 3. Dallariva is gone, along with Mike Wagner and Travis Worthing up there, those first few cars. Caution flies, and it'll bring them all back together. Got one car stopped in turn 1. It's the 654 of David Schmidt.
Yeah, it looks like David Schmidt actually had a little issues coming out of turn number 4. As he got
lose it here.
Yep, just lose it. Oh, contact right there, and up into the wall.
A little bit of contact with Joseph Cardamone in the 13, getting involved in that one there. Schmidt made some contact with that outside wall, tried to get it going, and then I don't know if the car was just broken and he couldn't turn it or what the issue was, but it just went straight in turn 1, got stuck, and brought out that yellow.
Yeah, I just saw as he stopped in his box, his right front just kind of went all the way to one side, so I think it definitely broke something underneath that car, and I think it was the right call by the officials to call out that caution there.
So we'll get re-racked here and ready to go once again. Back under caution. It's going to be less than 15 laps to go by the time we get this restarted. And the top few cars have been the same as they've been all race. Mike Wagner, Eric Dallariva have been on it all race long. Worthing, Schmeier, and Hutchison sit behind them. Baker, Northway, Gelder, the final spots in the top 8 right now.
Yeah, this is setting up to be an incredible finish here for the LCQ. And Robert Northway, he's going to have to do everything to keep those hard-charging cars behind him as we start to come to the final laps here.
Lights on the pace car are still on, so we will do at least one more lap around as we get ready to go. Wagner and Dallariva still up front. Matt Gelder is going to try to mount a charge here. Same with Mike Golightly to try and get around that 46 car at Northway, who's holding down P8. Don't count out any of those cars who were towards the back just yet. Still got Christian Abate there. He sits in the 09 and 12th. He's been involved in quite a few accidents, but he started in the top 5, so we know he's got some pretty decent speed in that thing. Jason Wallet, 114, currently 13th at the moment. Another driver who started far up the field and has some decent potential in that car to get himself a better position than where he's currently sitting. Pace car will pull in as we make our way through turns 3 and 4. And it's Mike Wagner and Eric Dallariva on the front row once again as we go back green. 14 to go here in the LCQ. Look back here, Robert Northway is going to get some positions. It's David Baker in there as well. That car running in P7, now back to P8 if Northway can get around him. That side-by-side for the second to last transfer spot. Matt Gelder just outside is the one you want to keep an eye on in that red and white 69 car as he tries to find his way up into the feature event tonight. Christian Abate not out of this either, running on the high side of Mike Golightly back there as he tries to steal P10 away.
Yeah, Abate trying everything he can to get that 09 back to the front of this field here with just coming to 11 laps to go. That outside lane worked for him for a couple laps, but he decided to go ahead and stick it back right behind Mike Golightly there in that number 43 machine.
David Schmidt has DNF, so he will be another car done for the night, not making it to our main event. As the top 8 looks pretty settled for the moment. Worthing is still trying to take a little peek at Dallariva, but doesn't have it yet. Big wreck behind him. This is outside of a transfer spot, but we've got 3 cars hard in the outside wall, and one almost flipped over there. No caution, now caution.
There's the caution that we were looking for. Mike Golighty almost fully upside down there on the front straightaway, and that was all started with Brian Barnes not giving Abate much room on the outside there.
No, it was Mike Golightly right there. Just kind of drove that '09 car up into the wall on exit, got turned around. Pretty big hit for the 8 of Matthew Baum as well. And then I don't know what in the iRacing physics happened to send that 43 car over, but Mike Golightly got a little bit of airtime.
I think both of those drivers got maybe just a tad bit of air there. And just look
That's a new one.
Yeah. Absolutely crazy. And why not? Let's ride on board with Golighty through this.
Has a very slow tip over. You know, you watch the movie Cars, and they did like cow tipping in Cars. That's what that felt like.
Oh yeah. It also reminded me of back when the COT came out in the second race at California, when who was it, the 5 or the 25 just kind of like got tapped and then just kind of like, let's go over.
Yeah.
Or Kyle Busch
Happens
at Daytona.
sometimes.
Or Kyle Busch at Daytona back in like 2008 or something like that. Just hit the apron just right and just like, hey, we're just going to roll over. Okay.
Well, this is going to be a little bit of a shakeup towards the front of this LCQ. Your top 8 drivers are still the same, but that wreck kind of happened right in the 10th through 12th area on the racetrack. So Jason Wallet in the 114, car that started in P7, has that thing back in 10th, and he'll look to fight his way up into the feature over these last 5 laps. Can't count out Joseph Cardamone back there either, recovering from being 1 lap down after an early incident. He sits in P11.
Yeah, definitely.
Lights on the pace car are off. We're double file. And with 5 laps to go, it's Mike Wagner leading the field. We'll go back to green. And Travis Warling is going to give a challenge here to Della Riva for P2.
Yeah, the front 5 are now single file here as they hit the back straightaway. I'm still watching this battle back here for 8th. Northway is still trying to hold on to that outside lane, but he's not able to make any way with Hutchinson there. But here comes Jason Wallet now, trying to make some moves on the outside of Gilder as they dive here down into turn number 3, come into 3 to go.
Yeah, Gelder had it for a second there, but Northway was able to get right back around him, and now Jason Wallet looks like he might be clear here for P9 around the top side in that 114 car. Can he complete the recovery drive and find himself one more position? He's got 2 laps to get it done. Jason Wallet in the 114, Robert Northway in the 46. This is your battle for the final transfer spot. Northway in that Cars-inspired paint scheme is going to have a much better run through that corner than Wallet did. But last time around, Wallet was 1/10 faster, and he's going to do everything he can to steal this spot. As the white flag waves for Mike Wagner up front, the eyes are on Robert Northway and Jason Wallet back here, and it looks like Northway is going to have it. Not enough left in the tank for the 114 of Jason Wallet. Mike Wagner will win the LCQ, and back from there, Eric Dallariva, Travis Warling, Jeff Schmeier, David Baker, Brian McGreevy, Wayne Hutchison, and Robert Northway will be the 8 cars advancing to your feature here tonight.
Yeah, what an incredible race all around. Mike Wagner leading it from start to finish. Eric Della Riva back in that second spot, all race long, and then Travis Whirling was able to hold on for that 3rd spot. So those 3 knew exactly what they needed to do, and everybody else was just along for the ride.
And those cars are going to get it done there. Great drive for Robert Northway. Really started this race in dead last, 19th out of 19. And he is going to be racing in our main event tonight after being the last car to sneak through.
Yep.
We're going to take a little bit of a break in the racing right here as we get everyone swapped over to a new session. get those cars over to the A main before we get ready to roll for the main event tonight. We are back here at the Snowball Derby, the first race of the season in the Majors Garage Americas division. We got a good one for you here. 300 laps coming your way over the next 3 or so hours from Five Flags Speedway. We got a whole field worth of cars here for you, and I think it's going to be a really good one. Looking at some of these practice times that these drivers are running right now, is there anyone that you're interested in, Mike, that could make a run?
I mean, with it being the Snowball Derby, anything can absolutely happen at any point in time. So, oh man, Dallas Pataska, he's always wicked fast no matter where we go. Um, who else here? Bryce Roberts, he's pretty quick. You know, just looking through this whole entire field, it could really be anybody's race at this point.
Yeah, you got quite a few cars in the field here who have some potential. Fastest cars in the warm-up session so far, Jake Richmond, Austin O'Neill, Robert Nash, Dallas Pataska, and Jackson Wade. I'll tell you what, I've called a couple races for Dallas Pataska in the past, and I feel like he's usually pretty fast, particularly at these short tracks. So might be one to watch out for here as this goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. You know, anything can still happen, and I think we're in for an absolute treat.
We have approximately 1 minute remaining in this warm-up session before we get ready to go green here for our 300 laps around Five Flags. I think it's going to be a really good one tonight. I'm interested in seeing how these drivers do, hopefully with a little bit of cleaner racing in comparison to our last chance qualifier that we had just about 10 minutes ago. Track temperature currently sitting at 87 degrees, so it's not going to be too hot of a track. Nothing these drivers have to worry about when it comes to their tires melting off. They do have unlimited tire sets for this race, one fast repair allowed, and because of how the LCQ went, might as well tell you that the incident point limit is 24, with an additional penalty for every 8 incidents that you hit afterwards. And that's all going to come into play here in just the next 30 seconds as these drivers get ready to hit the grid. Some of these drivers who came in through the LCQ are doing pretty well here in this warm-up session. Obviously, they've had less time to practice because they were racing in that LCQ. But Jeff Schmeier doing pretty well for himself, sitting 13 in this warm-up. Eric Dalla Riva currently 15th in this warm-up on speed. So some of those drivers are putting down some pretty decent pace here and might be people to watch out for to move up the field later on.
Great. My SDK is crashing out.
So as we get ready to go here very shortly, these cars are going to take to the starting grid, and we will get ready to roll for 300 laps around Five Flags. Give you a little bit of the grid. I think we're working through some technical difficulties, but I can tell you who the starting lineup will be tonight. On pole, Dallas Pataska in the 25 car with Caven Heaton outside in the 32. Ross Banfield third in the 777. Lionel Callisto fourth in the 97. Austin O'Neill fifth in the 05 with Jake Richmond sixth in the 500 car. Eric Smith seventh. Jordan Bazugli eighth. Christian Challoner, 9th, and Nathan Dowd in P10. Robert Nash goes from 11th tonight with Derek Love in P12. Brett Pancari, 13th. Austin Peterson, 14th. Ryan Steele in P15. Trevor Vavrovsky goes from P16 tonight with Bryce Roberts, Brenton Foster, Mike DeTurk, and Stephen Paulison back to P20. 21st is Brad Wren. 22nd, Nick Kuhn. 23rd, Jackson Wade. 24th, Kevin Hill. 25th, Chris Yatito. 26th, Ray Partridge. And then back through your top 30, it's Shane Vicari, Tom Drayling, Stephen Verweyen, and Lynn Kinchlow. Rest of your field, your 38 cars, it's your LCQ finishers, Eric Della Riva, Mike Wagner, Wayne Hutchison, Brian McGreevy, Jeff Schmeier, Travis Warling, David Baker, and Robert Northway. Those are the cars who came in through your LCQ tonight, and they will be rolling off in the final 8 spots for the feature event. As we get ready to go, once again, track temperature is going to drop here for this session. 74 degrees on the track. Bit of a cool track for this one. You're not as likely to see drivers slipping around as we get into the later stages of the run. That won't really cause a lot of tire wear. but in the early part of the run, that could definitely cause problems with tire heat for some of these drivers. So if we get a caution early, wouldn't be too surprised if we see more in a bit of a chain reaction. Pace car pulls in. It's Dallas Pataska. It's Kevin Heaton. We're green in the Snowball Derby.
Wow, just like that, Dallas is out to a pretty decent size gap here on everybody else. While everybody else still running side by side here out of turn 4 for the first time. Pataska's like, all right, guys, I'm out of here. You guys enjoy.
And the battle goes for second. Ross Banfield in the 777. Kevin Heaton on his outside in that 32 car. Austin O'Neill fourth. And Lionel Callisto back there in that 97 car sits in P5. So battles brewing in the top 5 behind Pataska, who has checked out in the early going of this race. Banfield still under threat from Heaton, who started up in P2. Banfield is trying to make that move back there. As we take lap 4, Heaton gets a little bit out of line, scrapes it off the outside wall, and it looks like Banfield might be able to get clear. Heaton's now got a teammate challenging behind him. It's Austin O'Neill in the 5.
Yeah, this battle up here for that second spot is just absolutely crazy. As Jake Richmond gets into the back of that number 5 machine of O'Neill. O'Neill was able to hold on to it, but man, he got a little bit squirrely there after getting tapped in the rear.
Kevin Heaton in the 32 still making that move on the outside. It looked like Banfield was going to get clear, but Heaton has fought back. As these two have battled, Dallas Pataska has checked out to a 2-second lead here 6 laps in. Heaton will finally get clear, using the momentum around that high side to get himself P2 and getting a little bit loose in the process. Heaton maybe using up those tires early as the caution flies for an incident further back in the field. And we've got 2 cars stuck down there in turn 1. Eric Dalla Riva, and it looks like one other guy. We got a couple other cars involved in this one. Shane Vicari as well.
Kevin Hill in that number 52 still facing the wrong direction. But he's going to go ahead and get himself rightly moved. Let's go back, take a look, see what we can see, what happened here.
Let's see if we can find that out. This is going to involve a couple cars further back in the field, like Shane Vicari. Yeah, starts up there with Vicari. I have to take another look at that.
Yeah. Let's go back.
Well, here, I got it pulled up. Shane Vicari is going to kind of get into the door of Ray Partridge. Is that blue 88 car. You'll see him off the corner. They're going to make contact. That spins the 27 around quickly. Tags his teammate there, and Eric Dalla Riva, and it just spirals. You've got Tom Dreiling involved, Stephen Paulison, Stephen Verweyen taking some hits as well.
That 52 kind of got up in the air, similar to what we just saw over in the LCQ over here in turn 1, as we're going to come back just a little bit and take a look at this.
So first caution within the first 10 laps here in the Snowball Derby. EOL penalty will go to the 27 car here for cause of caution. That is Shane Vicari behind the wheel of that one. I wonder if anyone's going to take a faster pair here early on. Looks like a couple drivers will. Yeah, we're going to see 3 drivers going to take a faster pair. That's Lynn Kinchlow, Eric Dalla Riva, and Kevin Hill using that faster pair, along with Stephen Verweyen, who just came down to take it. Ray Partridge did not take a faster pair, but he is still in the pits with a meatball flag, and that car is going to go 4, likely more, laps down here early.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ray Partridge, he did have to request a tow, so he's still waiting for that tow countdown to disappear, but we're getting ready to go back green flag here.
Pataska once again on the front row as we hit the green flag. Kevin Heaton gets a good jump there on the outside. Ross Banfield, Lionel Callisto sit 3rd and 4th after that restart. Austin O'Neill, Jake Richmond, P5, P6 behind him. A little bit of contact there with Banfield on the inside, Callisto on the outside. Both cars keep it going. Callisto wins that battle for the time being, but that 777 is still there, and we get another caution early on. And, oh, David Baker is totaled, and he's not even in the accident. There was a crash further up the field, and we'll get you to that one first, because that's what brought out the caution. It involves Eric Smith in the 72 and Jordan Bazugli in the 113. Kind of just running over the 72 car of Eric Smith is probably the best way to put it. Eric Smith took a big hit to the outside wall, sustained serious damage. That brought out the caution, but then further back, there were a couple cars who just kind of got chain reactioned into this, took some hits. Mike DeTurk. And then the big one that I saw was David Baker with a huge hit to the outside wall. That was probably worse than what brought out the caution. So the incident's going to start up in front of this. You've got Mike DeTurk back here. This is just going to be a checkup. The 72 got into the outside wall. You got a checkup back there that sends DeTurk into the outside wall. And even though it wasn't the cause of caution, if we can show what happened to David Baker, that was absolutely the hardest hit of the accident. You can see he's hit pretty hard back there. He's just trying to slow the car up, not get involved, and he gets ran over is probably the light way to put it by Stephen Verweyen in the 73, and the 33 takes a big shot to that outside wall. There you go.
Oh, really big hit there. And you said the 72.
The 113 was the start of the caution. Eric Smith got some big damage as well there.
There
he was 113 and the 72 getting into each other was what caused it. I think the 72 probably got the brute of the damage. 113 of Jordan Mazugli is going to get an EOL for this, and he kind of just runs over Eric Smith in the 72. One tap, two tap. The 72 car is going to smack the wall.
Definitely very unfortunate for Smith.
We're going to get groups back up here, and we'll go back green this time. Lights on the base car are off. Up front, it's still the Dallas Pataska show. He's done a great job to hold that lead so far, with Kevin Heaton second. Lionel Callisto pulled himself up to third. Ross Banfield demoted down to fourth after that brief run. Pace car will pull in out of 4, and we'll get ready to go green for the third time this race. It's Dallas Pataska with another great jump. We have seen that car on the inside go absolutely flying on every single restart tonight, and Pataska's got it right there. Kevin Heaton in the 32 to P2. Lionel Callisto, Ross Banfield door-to-door for P3, and you get a little more contact between those two cars as they continue to go at it. Callisto clear off the corner.
Yeah, this battle up here for this fourth spot is absolutely on fire between Ross Banfield and Austin O'Neill in that number 5. They keep getting in front of each other, then the other one just passes them right back. So they're putting on a really good show up here for the top 5 in this event.
Some battles a little further back in the field here too. Side by side in the 7th to 10th place range. Nathan Dowd, Christian Challenair going at it. Watching on board from behind the 87 of Derek Love as he's currently door-to-door with the 99 car of Robert Nash, who's running down there on the inside lane. You've got Trevor Vavrovsky right behind this battle, and then that side-by-side is for P12 between Austin Peterson and Ryan Steele back there as Nash and Love continue to race it out. Peterson racing it out with Steele as well. Almost some contact back there for P12.
Definitely starting to get into a rhythm here in this little run that they've got going. You know, they're definitely starting to leave a lot more room than we have been seeing the first 20 laps of this race.
Starting to hopefully get into a little bit of a green flag run here as Challenair has that outside line for P8 out of the corner, but Derek Love is giving him all he can handle in the 87 car. Down on the bottom, but the 87 gets loose, doesn't matter, caution waves. And we got a couple cars slow. We'll get this one to you. By the way, drive-through penalty for Shane Vicari issued as we figure out the cause of caution here. Kevin Hill disconnected. It might have been him. Nope, Kevin Hill pulled it down under green. He wasn't involved in this. We'll find out for you. I'm not seeing anything.
You're not seeing anything either?
I know there something happened. The caution was brought out one way or another. I'm just yet to figure out the reason for the caution being brought out on that one.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and
all right.
Live.
Well, we'll figure it out. Maybe some race control to inform us of what the incident was, because yeah, I don't see it. All right, well, we are under caution due to the mystery accident. Lionel Callisto lost a couple spots right before that caution came out. Jake Richmond in the 500 is up to P3. Austin O'Neill in the 5 back to P4 under our third caution of the race. So Lionel Callisto going to have some work to do when we go back green to put himself back up onto the podium. As the pace car continues to make its way around, and the lights will go out this time, so we will be door to door, and we will get lined back up. What are you looking for, Mike?
I'm just absolutely looking for a really long green flag run, and these guys are going to give it their all. These guys are really starting to, race as if it is the final 100 laps, but they still got over 200 laps to go here.
EOL penalty for Stephen Paulus in there as the green flag flies once again. Another great jump off for Dallas Pataska there. Clear for the lead. Jake Richmond in the 500 car comes through for P2. Started this race 29 laps to go in 6th, but now running up in the top couple.
Richmond,
Austin O'Neill back from him.
Yeah, Richmond right now, I believe he might be the only one that is fast enough to keep up with Pataska here. As Pataska's, he's not really allowing, he's not really driving away from Richmond at the moment. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here as another caution flies.
We can't tell you what that one's for. It's Lynn Kinchlow around. We will get a replay on what happened to Lynn Kinchlow back here in the field. It's going to be contact. Stephen Verweyen with another one just runs over Lynn Kinchlow down there in the corner.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate. Wrong place, wrong time for Lynn. I understand, that this is a very big race, one of the biggest short track races in the world. But if they don't take their time, they're not going to be able to finish this race. And that's one of the things I'm really worried about right now, because, we also have an incident limit that we have to worry about, and that's 28 incident points before you start to get penalized and everything.
Yeah, it's not going to be ideal for any of these cars. Lynn Kinchlow, it's going to come down to pits. I think he already took his fast repair. Don't quote me on that, but I feel like he did, which would be not great for him because it means he wouldn't be able to fix that damage. Let's see. He was in the box. He came out a lap down. If he hadn't taken his fast repair already, he certainly has taken it now. He will make another pit stop here, so problems for that 44 of Lynn Kinchlow. Might be in trouble before we go back green.
And it looks like
I would imagine the 73 is getting that EOL. Sorry, go ahead.
Yep, Shane Vicari, he will be the lucky dog for this caution.
There you go, so he will get that lap back. And the EOL will go to the 73 car of Stephen Verweyen for cause of caution. We'll take it back to the rear, and we will see if he's able to make his way back up through the field after that one. It's going to be a pretty long road as he will roll off from back around 33rd, 34th or so once we have all these cars sorted back out. Only 2 cars out of the race. Kevin Hill in the 52, Brett Pancari are out early on. And might have lost David Baker too, as he is not currently in the car. He sits 5 laps down. Oh, he is in the car. My iRacing glitched out. He is in the car. He is still 5 laps down. Pace car is going to pull off this time, and it'll be Dallas Pataska and Jake Richmond back up there on the front row. So we get ready to get rolling back green here. Pace car is in. Green flag is out. It's another great jump for Dallas Pataska.
Austin O'Neill quickly to that inside of Richmond here and through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway. And Lionel, he will clear Calvin Heaton for that 4th spot.
Good run for him. Austin O'Neill working at it for P2. Haven't seen him this far up. He started in P5. First time he's been on the podium, really, and now he'll look for that 2nd spot as well, underneath the 500 of Jake Richmond. Lionel Callisto, Calvin Heaton still side by side for that 5th position, but the eyes are on the battle for 2nd, and Jake Richmond will get clear around the top line. It seems like you can really make that outside line work in battles to kind of limit the car inside of you's run off the corner and make good time. Right now, Lionel Callisto is trying that, but Calvin Heaton slams the door for P4.
Yeah, one driver, that was Callisto, up in the outside wall. As you see these teammates here run side by side for that 6th spot. And out of turn number 4, he'll go to Lionel.
Side by side still back here. Derek Love, Ross Banfield. This is for P7, and then right behind them, you've got Robert Nash and Christian Challenger going at it for P10. Final spot in that top 10. Robert Nash making some pretty good time on the top there in that 99 car, trying to rip that high side. He's already gotten around Challenger. Now looking to get around Ross Banfield as well in the 777 car. As we go by a damaged lapper, that's Stephen Verweyen back there as well. Around and Keeley, he'll come into the pit, but that might have broken up this battle just a little bit up here towards the front of the field. We're back single file through the top 9, and it's Challenger and not Robert Nash, Ross Banfield going at it for P9.
Yeah, Ross Banfield, he is going backwards in a hurry here. He's already lost just about 7 spots, so he's really got to start getting something figured out in that 777 to start moving his way back forward.
Certainly trying to do it as the car pulled down to the inside there. A little bit of a wiggle for the 1 of Christian Challenger, and that's going to bring Banfield and Trevor Vibrovsky into this battle for P9. As we got a little bit of side-by-side forming further up the field. You've got Lionel Callisto door-to-door with the 87 of Derek Love, down into the corner. Love holds the advantage on that inside line, tries to slide Callisto up the road. It works. Lionel Callisto back to P7 now. After starting up in the top 4 positions, he has been in free fall for the last few laps.
Yeah, definitely not what these drivers have been wanting to see. That is not the camera I wanted to show you guys. Aha, here it is. Absolutely love this view of this racetrack, and especially when you got a car running to the outside like we have here with Christian and Lionel, it makes it a really good view.
Christian Challenger now down to the inside of the 97 of Lionel Callisto. And Challenger is trying to get that move done on the inside. We haven't seen too many moves get made there today, but with how high up the track Callisto is running, makes it a lot easier on Challenger to take P7 away. Trevor Vibrovsky in the 10 car will come through as well. He'll have P8 here in a moment if he's able to clear that car of Callisto. Vibrovsky moving from P16 to P8 so far in this race, but the biggest mover overall, Travis Warling, 36 to 16 in the first 50 laps.
Yeah, Travis is absolutely on a rampage right now. Beginning lap 50 here for him. You know, he's taking his time and marching his way forward, avoiding the early wrecks, and he might be up in the top 10 before we know it.
drive-through penalties issued to both Stephen Verweyen and Bryce Roberts for the incidents that they were involved in. Roberts running in P19 at the moment. We'll have to bring that car down. Already the leaders are coming up on some lap traffic here, and O'Neal has gotten to Pataska potentially as a result of that. You've got one lap car up the road here. That's the 33 of David Baker in your picture right there. And as a result, Austin O'Neal has clawed his way to the back bumper of Dallas Pataska. He's taking peeks up the inside, but that 25 car is doing a great job of defending, and O'Neal has had nothing for Pataska just yet. Caution flies. And, oh, I see who's wrecked. Brian McGreevy is totaled. What happened there?
Well, let's go back, take a look here, and see what happened. It's on the exit of turn 2, heading down into turn 3. Oh, big stack up in pro.
Yikes.
Hard hit. It hit him so hard, he went into the abyss.
Yeah, for a second, I was like, oh, maybe he went out of render distance. Nope, that happened on mine as well. He just hit so hard, he disappeared. That's a good one.
And taking a look here right in front of him, they all checked up. I think that car 21, he just for some reason slowed down a lot, and nobody else got the memo. And there you see McGreevy just going into the abyss.
Yeah. There's that check up in front of him. McGreevy made some contact with Chris Yatito. Brad Wren was the car that ultimately made that hit to the rear end of Brian McGreevy, and that thing had to tow back to the pits. I assume he's going to take the faster pair. He will. He'll get it back going, but that is not what you want for that 68 car. Luckily, it looks like he'll still make it out on the lead lap.
Yeah, he was actually able to drive it back around and get back into his pit stall. So that was very good for him there. And no, these two will go ahead and get trapped one lap down.
Oh, yeah, everybody who's at that ending of pit road is going to get stuck a lap down. That is McGreevy, Robert Northway, Eric Smith, and Jordan Bazugli all there as well. That is going to hurt their chances if they are all going to be now reliant on a caution and a faster pair. They're not even the first cars one lap down at the moment. That appears to be the 82 of Tom Dreeling, who is about to get a colossal pit road speeding penalty because he is going about 70 miles an hour on pit road.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I got to get down here. We're about to go green, you know, and let's see what these guys can do here on this restart. And does Austin O'Neal have anything for Dallas Pataska here?
We'll find out. It looked like he might have had a little bit before the caution. We'll see what he can do now. Pace car pulls off, and on lap 58, we're back green here in the Major Series Snowball Derby. Dallas Pataska with a good run. Let's see if he can get away from Austin O'Neal and Jake Richmond back there 2 and 3. Kevin Heaton, Nathan Dowd in the battle for 4th.
Austin O'Neal was quickly to get around Jake Richmond out of turn number 2 that time. And now he is all over that back bumper of Dallas Pataska, that number 25, as we have another caution out for Jackson Wade. Oh!
We will... Yeah, that car is pretty heavily damaged up there on the top line. We will taking a look at that one. It is a punt, courtesy of Eric Dallariva. You see that black and red car of Dallariva get into the rear of Jackson Wade, and that is the end result.
Yeah, a lot of these incidents I'm noticing is people diving in just a little too deep here. So they got to back up their markers just a little bit in the back. But, I mean, for the most part, you know, we've had a decent, pretty long run there before those last 2 cautions.
I've seen too many punts today. I'm an Eagles fan. We lost. We punted 500 times. I don't need to see any more punts. I'm going through it enough as it is. EOL penalty going to be given to Eric Dallariva for cause of caution, and then they are also going to give an EOL penalty to Brad Wren for causing the last caution. Those two drivers will go to the rear. Eric Dallariva, one of the better drivers in our LCQ, earlier finished second in that one. Is Lionel Callisto going to take an incident point black flag here? Is that what's going on? He has a black flag. I'm going to assume that unless he majorly messed something up on pit road, Lionel Callisto, who's been up front most of this race, might have just taken an incident point black flag.
Oh, that's an incident black flag. That's going to be really tough. But as of right now, he is dropping to the back of the field. He might
have sped. We'll have to take.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was close.
Well, let's.
If he did speed, it was not by much. He's gonna have to go to the back of the field here.
That's not gonna.
All right,
show me.
That is major problems for Callisto. He was running in the top 10 for much of this one, and he is going to be in major, major trouble now for the rest of this. It might have been coming out of a closed pit road for Callisto. That feels like it might check out for when he left. We'll find out. Green flag is back out for Dallas Pataska. He's up front, cruising away from Austin O'Neill and Jake Richmond, who sit side by side behind him for P2 and P3. Who's going to get that spot, and who is going to be the one who is able to challenge Pataska over these next few laps? 5 in the 500, nothing separating them, but Austin O'Neill looks like he is going to have the better run out, and that time, he'll take P2 out of the corner.
Yeah, O'Neill, like I was saying, I think he's probably got one of the only cars that can possibly keep up with Pataska. But as of right now, Richmond, he's doing pretty good up in that third spot in that number 500 as well, so I'm definitely keep my eyes on these two as they continue to run around this little half-mile circuit.
6-7 laps out of 300 in the books so far here in the Major Series Snowball Derby. Top 5 single file, but there's tight racing further back in the field. Ross Banfield, we've seen him door to door for what feels like most of the race. Right now, he's side by side with the two of Brenton Foster. That one for P11 further back in the field. And how about Travis Warling? We mentioned him starting back in 36th on the day. He's got that car running 14th right now, trying to challenge Austin Peterson for P13 in that battle.
Yeah, I've been watching Austin and Peterson in the telemetry, just swapping that position back and forth the last 2 or 3 laps. But as of right now, it looks like Austin Peter, he will have the better of the two for the time being. But just don't scratch Warling out of this just yet, as he's still trying to move up.
And Austin Peterson there continues to work on that high side. Not only does he have that 13th spot for now, but he's going to challenge Ross Banfield there and see if he can get anything done a little bit further up the field. Further back in the field, Mike the Turk in the 47 car under threat from Mike Wagner, your winner of the last chance qualifier earlier on tonight. Jeff Schmeier to the inside, but the caution flies before he can make the move, and there is a parking lot on the backstretch. I think Shane Vickery is going to be the car you want to take a look at here. As he is going to come off the corner. For whatever reason, he just didn't accelerate very well off the corner. Got tagged from behind by Brad Wren. Not the first time he's been involved in one of these cautions here recently, and it all spirals from there. Eric Smith, another repeat offender with a major hit. And Eric Dallariva ended up spinning as a result of that as well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody got too much damage out of this one. So that's definitely very good news there. Well, maybe.
Yeah, Dallariva took the biggest hit, I think, out of anybody there. By the way, I think we have another DNF. Stephen Verweyen is looking like he is done for the night.
That's definitely unfortunate there.
I'm also not seeing Lionel Callisto anywhere, so he might have called it quits as well. A driver who was very strong in the early going of this race and various issues have now sent Lionel Callisto 6 laps down and counting, as he's might have called it for the night behind the wheel of that 97 car. So you're under caution number 7. Sky Shrek, Mike Taylor up here in the booth. Mike Taylor also working the production truck. He's doing both at the same time, as we are on caution number 7 on lap 74. Brad Wren is going to take the EOL penalty and will go to the back of the field here for that incident. And we will line back up double file and get ready to get back rolling here on lap 76. It'll be Dallas Pataska up on the front row once again with the 5 of Austin O'Neill. Last couple times we've seen Pataska fly off into the sunset, and we've seen O'Neill and Richmond do battle for that second position. Is that what we're gonna see here? Let's find out. Green flag flies. Great jump for the 25 of Dallas Pataska. And just like that, Jake Richmond has a dive up the inside of Austin O'Neill. The 5 has done a great job all race long of defending on that high side, but it's a huge slide for Richmond. Slides it up the track, has to back out, but somehow he still keeps speed in that thing. And now Austin O'Neill back to the top, back doing battle. He needs to hold that 500 car down for as long as possible to prevent him from getting any run out of the corner. That's what he's doing. The 5 car victorious. He's cleared for P2 on lap 78.
Yeah, these two are absolutely going at it for this second spot. And while they're going at it, Pataska, he's not really pulling away either. So these two have figured it out. They know how to run hard with each other, but keep Pataska right there in arm's length, just in case one of them finally decides to hit the nitrous on their car and put on the attack on Dallas. But as of right now, they will just run single file through around this track.
As we're single file all up towards the front of the field, we are side by side a little further back. Austin Peterson still doing battle for that spot with Brett Foster. That's P11 on the racetrack at the moment. We've seen these two cars do battle for quite a while now, as this gap, this spot from about 10th to 15th has had some great racing all night long.
Yeah, we definitely see some really good racing out of these drivers all around this track, really. There's not one driver that really stood out the most, but I mean, they're all up here driving hard, racing hard, and you know, they're all having a really good time right now.
Peterson's still up there on the high side, hasn't been able to get clear yet. If he would clear, he would be doing battle with the 777 car of Ross Banfield right there, currently running in P10. Peterson and Foster still side by side. It's a drive-through penalty issued for Brad Wren for that contact, so he'll have to make a run to the pit road. As Austin Peterson gets clear, he takes P10. Now the side-by-side battle is for P5. Derek Love makes a move to the outside of Calvin Heaton. He takes that spot away.
Yeah, just like that. That's how quick everything changes as we have trouble back here in the back. Who was that? Jackson? No. Come back up just a couple. Yeah, Chris Vietio. He has some issues. I'm going to go back real quick. No, that wasn't. Who was that? It was that 77 machine of Austin Peterson.
So we get back rolling here. Still some battles going on throughout the field. So you see Brenton Foster, Travis Warling doing battle. Warling has stolen P11 away. So the car that started in 36 has mounted a charge and now has that car sitting in P11 as it is official. Lionel Callisto out for the race after being on the podium for some of the early stages.
Travis Warling is absolutely on a war here at Five Flags. He was like, I had to race my way in, and now I'm going to come to the front and show you guys I belong.
Yeah, he wasn't even the winner of the LCQ. He brought it home third. Clearly had some pace. Clearly could have pushed it even further if he wanted. but he was content to just make it through cleanly into the A main, and now that car is on fire here. A lot of speed out of that 90 machine of Travis Worling. Brenton Foster in the 2 is behind him, trying to set up a move. Look to the inside there. The 90 got down in front of him, slammed the door, and he will need some momentum if he wants to challenge the 777 of Ross Banfield for the final spot here in the top 10. Single file all through the front few rows. Closest battle on the track might even be the battle for second, as Jake Richmond has not let go Austin O'Neill at all.
No, Richmond, he's doing everything he can to put pressure on O'Neill, to get O'Neill to slip up just once. But as of right now, O'Neill, he's just minding his own, and I bet you he's not even looking in his rearview mirror at the moment.
No, Jake Richmond is going to be dialed in on Austin O'Neill, bumps him out of the way. Richmond backs off immediately, gets on the radio to apologize, and he will stay in third, but that was a close moment there between him and the 5 of Austin O'Neill.
Yeah, great sportsmanship there out of Jake Richmond in that 500 machine. Just, I love it when drivers are like that. I accidentally get into you. Well, I'm going to back off, let you regather yourself, and then we'll go back at it. But that little tap right there allowed Dallas Pataska in that number 25 to pull away by just about 5 or 8 car lengths.
Jake Richmond trying to re-rack, get his composure back after what had to have been a heart rate spike in that accident. He's going to get loose there, though. The 500 starting to struggle a little bit. He's unable to do much of anything to close in on that car as the track temp has heated up from 74 at the start of this race to 99 right now. It's starting to get warmer on the racetrack. The tires starting to become worse and worse as Travis Worling has made the move on Ross Banfield. He's in the top 10 now. Mike Wagner doing battle with Austin Peterson.
Yeah, I wanted to jump back here to this battle back here for 10th. Travis Worling was able to get past Ross Banfield, and he's starting to pull away from this little group right here as he's got his eyes on Robert Nash now in that number 99 machine.
This is a very tight pack here, really all throughout it, because you've got Mike Turk behind it, Mike Wagner, winner of your LCQ, and they're making a little bit of contact right there. They're making contact for P10 as well. Austin Peterson into the door of Ross Banfield. Caution flies further back in the field. And we have Eric De La Riva around. The car you're going to want to go to is Brian McGreevy for the replay.
Brian McGreevy.
So De La Riva takes the worst hit, but it's a checkup from the spin of Brian McGreevy, who, not for the first time tonight, has been hit from behind and spun by Stephen Verweyen. There you go.
Oh, another hard hit for somebody back there as well.
That was De La Riva. It was De La Riva who took that major hit behind as well, off a hit from behind from Bryce Roberts in the 21 car.
We'll take a look at this one more time. This time we're watching De La Riva. And under this caution, we got some drivers down on pit road.
Everybody coming in. Dallas Pataska, your race leader, along with what seems like almost everybody else down into the pit lane right there and getting service. Tires going on all of those cars, I'm sure, filling it up with fuel as well. 4 tires for everybody. Except for, it's like Austin O'Neill, Derek Love, Ross Banfield. They are all on 2 tires, and that lets Pataska out of the pits in 6. Jackson Wade, Chris Yatito have both stayed out. And I'm not sure if we're going to see Stephen Verweyen out on the racetrack again tonight, because he is having a bad time. He is 45 laps down. He's going to get another penalty for that one. That's the 3rd time we've seen him get into the back of a car tonight. Bad to worse for Verweyen.
Yeah, definitely very unfortunate, but you know, when you Unfortunately, when you take so many people out, there's a point in time where the officials got to go, all right, man, what's going on? And he might just be getting to just about that point.
As we get ready to go back green here, we are 4 wide coming to the line. That is not supposed to happen, and it will not work as the 87 car gets majorly loose in there. I don't know what happened on that restart, but it seemed like some cars weren't ready, and Derek Love is going to pay the price of it.
Yeah, but he was able to actually pull that machine back together, only lose maybe about 4 spots.
Chris Yatito just whiffed the restart. It was almost like, I don't know if he spun the tires. It was more like he just wasn't paying attention, and it stacked up everyone behind him there. As we're now side by side for second, Pataska already back to the point. He's just gotten around Jackson Wade in the 96 car for P2.
Yeah, with Pataska now back in this second spot, you know, it's going to be very interesting to see what he can do with Austin O'Neill, as we know that Austin O'Neill is pretty fast as Pataska. But the question is going to be, how long is it going to take Pataska to get back around him?
We'll find out. Dallas Pataska has the advantage here on 4 tires compared to 2 for Austin O'Neill. Not sure how much speed that's actually worth here at Five Flags, but we will find out as this run continues. Austin O'Neill wanted that track position more, and that will be, he won that track position more than the tires, so we'll see if that will be the right position. Bit distracted, no EOL issued for that last caution, so I don't think it really mattered because Verweyen was in the pits for the entire caution and lost about 4 laps anyway. As Austin O'Neill holds on to the lead, the battle is side by side for P7. That is Nathan Dowd, who has just cleared Ryan Steele, who is now under threat from Derek Love, who needs to find his way back up the field. He was right up front there before it all went wrong on that restart.
Derek Love's definitely starting to make his way back up past a couple more cars here. So he's slowly but surely starting to make his way back to where he started on that last restart. So he's got a pretty strong car from what I've been able to watch.
Derek Love on the inside there of Chris Yatito, that car who stayed out and kind of blew the restart, which is what led to Derek Love losing all those positions. And let me tell you, no tires for Yatito, not the strategy, because he is free-falling through the field right now. Robert Nash and Ryan Steele are going to go 3 wide down to his inside. Chris is going to go all the way up the racetrack. This is some tight racing right here as they try to clear that slow car, and the 88 tags the wall. He'll drop all the way back to 14 here.
Yeah, that might have been a good call, but we have trouble with Robert Northway in that number 46 machine facing the wrong way. Oh.
Ooh, that was not a great rejoin there with, who was that? Stephen Paulison. As we'll see what happened to Robert Norway that spun him around in the first place. There is some contact from behind. Looks like that is the 21 car of Bryce Roberts getting into him there.
Robert Northway got a bigger hit than I anticipated, but he started coming down, and he actually came down right in front of that number 58 machine.
That was Tom Dreeling who took that first hit to Robert Northway, and looked like he took quite a bit of damage from it as well. So we are under caution for the 9th time tonight on lap 108 here in the Major Series Snowball Derby, the kickoff to the America region of the schedule. I'm Sky Shrek. I'm joined up here in the booth still by Mike Taylor. We'll be with you for the rest of this one, the remaining 200 laps of this one.
We're just crossed over into lap 115, so time's definitely quickly but slowly going by for these drivers, and man, this last run was absolutely phenomenal.
Dallas Pataska, class of the field, but he's back to second on a pit road decision, and we'll see if he's able get his way back up to the P1, or if Austin O'Neill, who was really giving Pataska all he could handle prior to that pit stop, can get him back, as we are going to have a caution extended for another 2 laps here, and we will continue to pace. Give you a little bit of a rundown through the field here. Austin O'Neill on pole, Dallas Pataska second, Jackson Wade, Travis Warling up to 4th, behind the wheel of that 90 car. Good strategy calls for him. He's been 36th this race, and now he's running 4th. Kevin Heaton, Nathan Dowd, Derek Love, Ryan Steele, Robert Nash, Christian Challoner, the rest of your top 10. Austin Peterson, Mike DeTurk, Jeff Schmeier, Wayne Hutchison, Nick Kuhn, Trevor Vavrovsky, Ross Banfield, Chris Yatito, Eric Dallariva, Jake Richmond are your top 20, and those are also your only cars on the lead lap at the present moment. One more under the pace car, and then the pace car will pull off next time by. And we will get ready to get back rolling here. Is there anything on this restart, Mike, that you're looking forward to?
I am looking forward to Dallas Pataska giving Austin O'Neill a run for his money coming out of turn 4. That is what I am anticipating.
Austin O'Neill will be the one on the front row with Dallas Pataska. I feel like we've seen these two on the front row for most of this, and well, we've extended the caution by another 2 laps, so we are going to do some more.
Yeah, I think the officials are trying to get something sorted out, and they're just not happy with something at the moment.
As we continue to pace, and this is going to be, I think we've been over 10 laps or so now on this caution as we continue to go around. You want to do a quick update on how that pit strategy worked out for you. Only car in the top 4 who took 4 tires is Dallas Pataska. Wade Warling both put 2 on it. Derek Love also on 2. He is driving it back in P7 right now. And then those cars who stayed out, like Yatito, have had to come down and put tires on it on that caution because they were completely out to lunch. Lights on the pace car are off this time, so we will get going back green. Austin O'Neill, Dallas Pataska is the lineup on the front row with Travis Warling and Jackson Wade behind. We're back green here at Five Flags.
O'Neill out to a phenomenal start on this one. And here comes Jackson Wade now looking on the inside of Pataska. Pataska very strong on that outside. And as I said, here he comes, coming through turns 3 and 4. And he is battling for the race lead on the exit of 4.
Pataska's got that outside line. We know the outside line can be strong in the right hands. We've seen drivers make moves there. We've also, Pataska loose out of the corner. Doesn't get it done right there. He's going to lose a lot of time. And now we almost have a Kevin LePage there from Tom Dreeling. Came right up into the road, and that's going to cost Pataska P2. Jackson Wade now holds second, but the 25 is still a little bit down to the inside, trying to make something happen.
Yeah, he's definitely not giving up yet, as he's still running side by side with Wade on the exit of turn number 4 as they drag race down the front straightaway back into turn number 1. Pataska will clear it. Slight contact from the 32 of Heaton, and Wade will slide up the track just a little bit, but he will retain that 3rd spot as Heaton is continuing to put pressure on the back of that number 96 machine.
Let's see Pataska do a battle with Jackson Wade. Pataska's got that spot back, but it's such a big gap now to Austin O'Neill up in front of him, as it's 0.2 of a second quicker for Austin O'Neill last time by 0.8 of a second. Currently the gap separating that 5 car and that 25 car at the present moment. Kevin Heaton still running 4th. He's been hanging around that top 5 basically all day long. Hasn't really had any good runs at the lead, but he's having a very consistent day, and maybe if something happens in front of him, he could still find his way up to the front by the end of this one.
Yeah, there's still a very good, strong possibility that, he could still get his way up here to the front. as we have a good side-by-side battle back here for this 8th and 9th spot.
Yeah, we do. We've got the 99 of Robert Nash there underneath. The 12 of Ryan Steele, who's the car working that high side further up the road. Christian Challoner in the 1 is the driver behind both of them at the moment. And Nash is looking down there to the inside on Steele. Looks like he has it right now. Steele up on the outside, struggling, can't do anything yet. And Challoner now down to the inside is going to be a challenger for P9.
Yeah, Christian Challoner, you know, he's had an up and down day at one point. I think it was all the way back in like that 14th, 15th spot. But he was able to work his way back up to that 9th spot where he started today. So he's finally starting to get his race together, and now he's starting to make his way back up through the field.
As Nathan Dowd looks a little bit high on Travis Worling. That's the battle for 5th. Wasn't able to get anything done with it. And he will continue to run P6 as Worling is having just a fantastic day here. Not just to get through that LCQ, but to get all the way up from the LCQ into the top 5 in the main event. Considering we're not even halfway through this thing, it has been an amazing run for Worling.
Yeah, Worling is absolutely surprising me with what he can do here as we look back to Nathan Dowd.
He's battle. We're side by side further back in the field. We've got Trevor Vavrovsky door to door with Mike DeTurk for the 12th position. Vavrovsky got up the track a little bit there. Contact between those two cars. Mike DeTurk backs it out. He'll drop to 13th. Vavrovsky holds on to P12 in that 10 car. We've seen him hanging out about 9th through 15th most of this race, and he's been in a lot of good battles. So is Austin Peterson, running one spot up ahead of him. He's looking to the outside lane there on Ryan Steele. Didn't have anything going. Now going to look down to the inside lane on Ryan Steele. As this battle goes, Derek Love just lost 2 spots in one corner in front of him. Robert Nash and Christian Challoner both around Derek Love as Steele gets ran up the road behind him, and Austin Peterson grabs that position.
Yeah, definitely really good tight racing happening right here, and especially at turns 3 and 4, there was slight contact between Peterson and Steele, but that's not stopping anybody from letting Steele back down as he's continuing to fall back to that 12th spot.
No, door-to-door battling up in front of them now as Derek Love is trying to hold steady, stop the bleeding, and find himself in front of Austin Peterson in the 77. That car has been a little aggressive, and there he goes once again, sliding up the track, trying to bump that 87 car out of line. He'll bump him good down the front straightaway there. Door-to-door, nose-to-nose into the corner. The 87 is likely to have an advantage out. Not actually. Austin Peterson doing a great job on exit. He's going to try and take the spot away on the inside, and it looks like he'll have P9 across the line here. He's clear. Now here comes Trevor Vavrovsky. Derek Love plummeting through the field.
Yeah, Vavrovsky is absolutely just flying up through the field at the moment in that number 10 machine. He's gained probably just about 3 or 4 spots since we went back green flag racing, but he's also starting to move up through the field here as well.
By the way, shout out while we're doing all this, Jackson Wade. He is on a very weird strategy. He's on his own strategy. He put on lap 61 for 2 tires. So he is on 80 lap old right side tires. Oldest set of tires on the right sides in the field right now. And yet he has that car running solidly up in P3. Hasn't lost too much time. He's doing a great job with it. As Trevor Vavrovsky is going to get around Derek Love here potentially. And that car could be pushed even further back to P11.
Definitely very unfortunate there.
Another DNF, Mike Wagner is officially done. He was your LCQ winner. He will be out of the race. 6:30.
I'm also showing Brenton Foster and Robert Northway not on track either.
Northway is done. I think Foster is maybe still in the box. You watch this battle. Derek Love clips the outside wall. That was close there between him and Vavrovsky. Love now back to 11. They'll try to get right back on it, but Vavrovsky is clear of the 87 car, and Derek Love has gone from 7th to 12th in the span of about 10 laps here. He almost clips the wall again. It's not a good run right now for the 87. He's hoping for a caution. Maybe he can make some changes as we approach halfway.
Yeah, that 87 machine, he hit that wall. I thought he was absolutely going to come down and clobber that number 10 machine. But luckily, he was able to get off the wall, keep it straight enough not to make contact. So that's one of the things I love to see about some of these drivers, how they react due to that wall hit that, that usually bounces people back onto the track.
Yeah, Derek Love has not let that contact with the wall scare him away from this battle because he's still got that car right up on the high side, challenging Vibrovsky. Not only that, but he has the advantage over Vibrovsky right now, doing a great job in that 87 car on the top. Not quite clear yet, but he has a clear advantage across the start-finish line. He'll take it down into turn 1. Derek Love back to 10th. Caution flies.
This was going to be for Brad Wynn in that number 93 iRacers Lounge machine. Let's take a look here, see what happened. The 19 came up and gave him a little lick in the rear as you see both cars start to go around. The 19 able to save it, but the 93 will be sitting backwards on track.
By the way, maybe not. Brad Wren almost hit the 19 car under caution there when he was spinning it back around. That was a close one between those two cars again. I was thinking it might have been intentional, but the 19 was just the last car to come around, so I think it was more of just he's trying to get back going quickly after the last car gets by.
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to be sitting backwards, very long here, as unfortunately he did go another lap down because of this incident. So the faster you can get yourself turned around at these short tracks, the less time that you will absolutely lose.
For sure. We got quite a few cars into the pits. Doesn't look to be any of the leaders, though. It's more cars who are already a couple laps down. Ross Banfield did come down pit road. He's one of the drivers in, but I think he's going to lose a lap. Can be kind of hard to pit without losing a lap here at Five Flags, as Austin O'Neill is still your race leader, and it's going to be Dallas Pataska still in P2.
Yeah, Pataska's just absolutely doing a phenomenal job of that number 25. Keeping it first and second all race long, and he's looking to try to retake the lead here again on this next restart.
We will get double filed. Nope, we are going to extend it for another 2 laps. Nick Kuhn, EOL for cause of caution.
I think what they do is they extend the caution to give time for everybody to get around that driver that got that EOL, so that there's no further penalties implemented.
The lights on the pace car will go out this time, and it will be that same combo on the front row of Dallas Pataska in P2 and Austin O'Neill as the control car, despite the fact that Pataska has led the most laps tonight and has generally been quite a dominant car. O'Neill has done a great job with those 2 tires after that pit stop about 50 laps ago to grab the spot, hold on, and not let go, and keep himself out in front of the 25 of Dallas Pataska. For the 11th time tonight, we're green at Five Flags. It's a great jump for O'Neill. Now Pataska is going to have to deal with Jackson Wade. He's on much older tires, but he is pushing it down there on that inside.
Yeah, absolutely. Wade giving Pataska everything he has got, because he wants to be able to clear him. And he will clear him on the exit of turn 4, and that's going to put Pataska back in that 3rd spot.
What a move there for Jackson Wade. Great driving from that 96 car as Pataska in the 25 continues to sit in 3rd. Single file now for what's the top 10. First side-by-side battle is Jake Richmond in the 500, driving his way back up through the field. He had some weird stuff on pitch strategy, and now that car, currently sitting in P11, is trying to gain some time. Travis Warling on his inside, one of a couple cars who hit on that last car. He came down, so did Nathan Dowd, Trevor Bobrovsky, and Jeff Schmeier behind him. And we'll see if that 4-tire call on this most recent caution ends up working out for Warling and Dowd as they try to find their way around Chris Yatito.
Yeah, as we are 10 laps past our halfway point, so these drivers are going to start to think about, you know, what they need to do to get faster and to get up towards the front of the field, as, you know, 150 laps go by pretty quick here at Five Flags, because this is a very fast half-mile track.
As we have that 888 of Yatito down on the bottom, but he's got those cars flying around him. Now Warling going to be to the inside of Mike DeTurk. Your caution flies. Brad Wren is around.
Brad Wren once again in that number 93 machine. See, he comes down, and he just got loose on that outside lane, and he buckled it down, and I guess that was just enough for the officials to go, hey, caution.
That will be a caution there for that spin for Brad Wren. It's not been a good time for him at all this race, I will say.
For sure. Definitely not what Brad Wren is wanting to see here. You know, he is currently 2 laps down, so, you know, he's really got to do something to get it turned around so he can start moving back up through the field. But just staying out of trouble, that's going to be one of the first things he has to do.
As we are going to see some more pit stops here, including for Brad Wren at the back of the field, but everybody on the lead lap has stayed out here. Actually, we might have got 1 car down. Let me check on this. Robert Nash will come down. He is on the lead lap, so he will take some tires, some fuel, and he will get that car back rolling as we are under the 11th caution of the night here from Five Flags. Austin O'Neill, Jackson Wade, Dallas Pataska, your top 3. Pataska might actually benefit from being on that inside line. He's going to have to do his best to follow that car in front of him of O'Neill very closely once we get going back green here.
Oh, definitely. You know, it is very possible that he could make it stick. You know, if he can time the restart better than Jackson Wade on that outside lane, you know, Pataska, he can quickly get on alongside, and then he will give O'Neill a good run for his money.
We're over halfway through. Lap 166 in the books right now in the Major Series Snowball Derby. So we get ready to get back rolling here very shortly. Can anyone stop Austin O'Neill on that 2-tire call right now? Tires don't seem to be that important, as evidenced by Jackson Wade absolutely flying through the field on some older rubber, and Dallas Pataska, who was the quickest car in clean air in the first run of that race, being trapped back in 3rd. Green flag flies for Austin O'Neill. He's off on lap 167, and Pataska with an immediate jump down to the inside to clear Jackson Wade, who slots in P3. Battles on for P4. Kevin Heaton, and how about Christian Challenger? We haven't seen him in the top 5 all night, but here he is looking for P4.
Yeah, Christian Challenger, he's been absolutely tearing it up the last 50 laps or so. You know, slowly making his way up through the field, and now he's up here in 5th, so what a very strong run for him tonight, as these drivers are continuing to stick away laps here.
Derek Love in the 87 car riding up there on that high line. What can he do? He is in a recovery drive mode after falling all the way back to 12th on the previous run at one point. Now, looking back for a spot in the top 5 on the outside of Christian Challoner, who he's been doing battle with quite a bit today, just not this far up in the field. Side by side behind them, Nathan Dowd, first car on 4 tires. He's got a little bit of damage, but it doesn't seem to be hurting him that much as he and Vavrovsky both make quick work of the 77 of Austin Peterson. And those drivers on new tires are definitely getting some benefit from it, as he's now up to 7th, right behind this 2-wide battle of Challoner, and that is Derek Love.
Yeah, Derek Love trying to hold on to that outside lane from Challoner. And that 07 is definitely just flying at the moment on those fresh tires for sure. And I wonder if Dowd's going to have to make it 3 wide here to try to get around both of these drivers here.
Well, we will see, as this Christian Challoner still on the inside. Derek Love, it has the advantage right now, but both of these cars have really done a great job to stick with it and not let the other one go. Although it looks like right now Derek Love is going to be supreme. Nathan Dowd is certainly hoping he is, because he's following that 87 car through on the top. And you know, with the fresher tires on that 87, he would certainly like to make, or the fresher tires on that 07, excuse me, he would certainly like to make quick work of Christian Challoner on the bottom, and even Derek Love up on that high side. But Challoner won't go away just yet, and the 07 not able to get the run that he wants just yet.
Yeah, this battle back here is absolutely great to watch. You know, as we continue to see Challoner have trouble trying to get around Derek Love here. And Nathan Dowd, I'm pretty sure he's getting very antsy in that number 07 machine, because I think he's ready to go, and he's being held up at the moment. But I believe we have a very good, strong build-up right now for our race lead.
Yeah, Dallas Pataska has gotten up to the rear end of that car of Austin O'Neill. Oh, big wreck behind him. That was in that battle we were watching with Dowd. Huge airtime there for maybe even more than one car. As Christian Challoner, Nathan Dowd, Chris Yatito, they were all doing battle, and it has ended very violently.
I'm not going to lie, that just gave me absolute static shock watching how much air that one of these cars got here on the front straightaway.
Challoner went flying there, the 07. Maybe just a little too aggressive there off the corner. Did not let the 01 up at all, and I mean, there you go. They make contact, the 01, or the 1 car gets turned into the outside wall. And there's your end result. Totaled race car for Christian Challoner. He's going to hope he has that faster pair left. He does, thankfully.
That was...
Pit stops for the whole field here. Dallas Pataska, Austin O'Neill, everybody except for Trevor Vavrovsky and Jake Richmond in those cars who pit just 29 laps ago. I would imagine this will be the final pit stop for those cars.
Oh yeah, definitely. As you know, we're taking a look at this one more time in slow motion. Just look how much air that number 1 machine gets.
Ooh.
You know, I'm going to go way off topic here, but the way these phase or this damage model is, and watching that tire just like hang off the car mid-air was absolutely beautiful.
EOL for the number 07 of Nathan Dowd for cause of caution there, with him just maybe getting a little bit too aggressive off the corner with Christian Challoner. 6 cars have stayed out. Jake Richmond on 75 lap old tires, Robert Nash, Thomas Warling, Jeff Schmeier, Ryan Steele, and Ross Banfield, whose tires are all 17 to 30 laps old.
This is going to be absolute wild. But we know Jake Richmond, he's been super fast in that number 500 machine. Robert Nash in that 99 machine, we haven't really talked too much about him, but he's been hanging out in the top 10 all day. Travis Warling, we have watched him drive from that 36th spot, currently sitting 3rd on this restart.
And we're going to run another 2 laps here. The caution has been extended once again on lap 100, and it will be 83 across the lines.
Pataska will be starting back in that 12th spot, which it could be a very dangerous spot for any of those drivers around that, because that's right about where a lot of our issues have happened. So Dallas Pataska, that number 25, he's got to be really, really careful trying to make his way back up through the field.
Yes, he will need to be very careful, sitting back in that 12th place position as Austin O'Neill, Derek Love, Jackson Wade, and Bryce Roberts there, 7th through 10th, all came down, but they put 2 tires on it. Pataska once again went for 4, so he is going to have to really work to get his way up 10 or so spots. He's got the best tires, better tires than any car in front of him, but that might not determine if he's able to get the lead here, because tire wear has been finicky all night long. And as we get later into the night, the track is only going to get cooler and cooler, which is only going to make tire wear less and less. Pace car is in. It's Jake Richmond and Robert Nash on the front row. Great jump for that 500 car. We're back green on lap 185, and he is gone.
Richmond said, I am not waiting for Pataska to make his way back up through the field. I am absolutely out of here, as we have a strong battle back here for our 4th spot between Steele and Jeff Schiemer? Is that
Jeff Schmeier.
Schmeier. But let me tell you
My last name is close enough.
Schmeier, yep. And Austin O'Neill, he's starting to sneak his way back up into the top 5 now.
Meyer down there on the inside, or excuse me, on the outside in that 30 car. Ross Banfield is the one down on the bottom. Derek Love in the 87 trying to push Meyer up the field, as you've got Jackson Wade in the 96 right behind this battle as well. Contact with Love in the 30. He is going to save it. Whoa!
What a save by Jeff right there in that number 30 machine. He was supposed to go around, guys.
I thought he was going to wreck, and I thought he was going to take about 3 cars with him. That is an incredible save from Jeff Schmeier to get that thing sorted back out and keep it rolling. He's only lost enough spots to take him back to 11th. That could have been so much worse. Dallas Pataska now trying to move his way up to the field. Has that car in the battle for P8 underneath Derek Love as he tries to follow Jackson Wade in the 96 through. He's going to door Love. Caution flies before we could get that 3-wide battle into the corner. And we have a couple cars around. Verweyen is backwards. Oh, you're not going to believe what happened here. It is Stephen Verweyen spinning out Brian McGreevy. That
again.
Is, deja vu.
Deja vu all over again.
That is the 4th caution, caused in part or entirely because of Stephen Verweyen getting into the back of another car. It's the 2nd or 3rd, I can't remember, caused by him getting into the back of Brian McGreevy specifically. That 68 car cannot be happy.
Nah, he has got to be livid underneath that helmet. Because let me tell you what, I absolutely would be.
13th caution of the night. Brad Wren took some damage in that, and he has decided that he is simply done. So he will be our next DNF of the evening.
Yeah, Brad Wren in that number 93 machine. You know, he had a single self-spin, I believe it was, and then just he kept getting clobbered from behind. And, you know, it's just to a point where you got to go, all right, yeah, let's pack it up. No, let's not spend any more money on this race car.
Stephen Verweyen has been given an incident point black flag, which is huge for him. It'll take him from 53 laps down, potentially even to 54 laps down in that 73 car. That is kind of important here, because if he's able to make more laps, he's going to finish ahead of Brad Wren and some of these other cars that are likely to DNF here tonight that are still stuck in the pits. So he could still gain a couple positions if he's able to get that car back out on the track and get it rolling, but he's going to need to run some more consistent laps towards the end of this. And another black flag and some heavy damage on that 73 car is not what he needs in order to do that.
I definitely agree with you there. And lights are out on the pace car for the moment. I say the moment because, well, they like to hit them back on whenever they
Yep,
want
there we
to.
go. They're back on.
Told ya.
You get another 2 laps under yellow so that they can give Verwayen an EOL. Although Verwayen is also still in the pit lane fixing damage, so I don't think he'll be back out on track to actually serve that EOL. That is the second EOL penalty on the day for Verwayen. I don't think he got one for the last time because he was also stuck in the pits.
Yeah, that's just absolutely crazy. As we see the field coming out of turn number 2, side by side, coming down the back straightaway drag race. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we got a little bit more.
I forgot.
We're going to be here under caution for another lap or 2. As it is still Richmond up on that front row with the 99 car of Robert Nash next to him. Meatball flag for Robert Northway. He joined the session again briefly, but I think he has promptly left the session again, so his race is likely over. With Robert Nash and Jake Richmond, the cars we actually are concerned about up here on this front row, Richmond is running on some old rubber, and yet this car does not look it. Up there, that number 500 is still hanging on to the lead. Robert Nash will look to unseat him. We will go back green this time. On lap 197, it's Richmond, it's Nash. It's another good jump for Richmond. Great job to not spin the tires there. He's gone, but Austin O'Neill will challenge from second.
Yeah, O'Neill just absolutely floored it at the same time. He timed it just right, was able to retake that second spot away from Nash real quick. And that's going to allow Nash to now jump down single file in that third spot. And now we got side-by-side racing back here with Travis Whirling and Derek Love.
They're doing tight battle back there, tight battle up front in the field as well. 87's going to run the 90 up the road a little bit. 90 of Whirling is on the newest tires in the field, and yet he's going to lose 2 spots on that lap as Ryan Steele is up ahead of this car of Jackson Wade right now as he tries to dive his way back through the field. Whirling was on the same strategy as Dowd and those other cars that had problems. Now he sits in P5.
Yeah, right now, Derek Love, he is in an absolute moving up forward as we come across the line with 100 laps to go this time. So it's starting to become go time for a lot of these drivers, and Derek Love, he's hit a different gear because he's starting to move up through this field really quick.
Whirling continues to sit there. We are 2/3 of the way through this race. Lap 202 right now. Time is starting to run out for drivers to make moves and fight their way back to the front. I'm so impressed by how Richmond is holding on these tires. Battle for 4th is the closest one on the racetrack as Derek Love is now ahead of Ryan Steele in the 12 for that 4th position. Love on very similar tires to that 12 car. Jackson Wade is going to get around him as well. Their tires are only about 15 laps fresher, so not too much of a difference between them and Steele, but it's enough to send that 12 car from 4th back to P6 as Dallas Pataska continues to try to drive his way up to the field, but he is stuck in P9 at the moment. Caution.
Austin Peterson and that number 77 machine involved in this one.
We'll get a replay there on what happened in that accident. Austin Peterson, like you said, the 77 taking some damage in this. Going to make contact with another car inside of him, and it's going to tear up the race car. It was Jordan Bazugli in the 113 to the inside of that 77 coming off the corner. It's just a coming together between those two cars, and they both take some heavy damage down there into the inside wall. Lucky that nobody else got caught up in that one, but it's going to be bad for both of those cars. They don't have their fast repair left, and I do not believe either of them do. They're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Looking at that front tire there of that 77 machine, it's just absolutely all torn into pieces.
He does have his left. It's Bazukli who does not have a fast repair. So Peterson will be able to get back out there
and
at least.
poof, car's fixed. All right, let's get back out there and do it again.
Do it again, hopefully with less crashing.
Exactly.
So Richmond is going to continue to hold the lead as we are going to extend this caution another 2 laps in order to facilitate the EOL penalties and everything necessary as a result of that one. Jake Richmond holds your lead. Austin O'Neill holds second. Robert Nash in the 99 car is the holder of P3 at the present moment. Derek Love 4th, Jackson Wade 5th, Ryan Steele, Kevin Heaton, Dallas Pataska led about 100 laps today. I believe he's led the most laps today, and yet he sits in P8. Bryce Roberts 9th, Trevor Vavrovsky 10th. Jordan Bazugli was given an EOL for cause of caution and then immediately left the server, so he is done for the night. To make some pace laps. It's really starting to run down here, the time for these drivers. You know they've got to go all out here over these last 92 laps if they want to try to bring home the win in the Major Series Snowball Derby, the first event of the American region here for the Major Series season. We're going to give you a little bit of a rundown of the America Series schedule while we're at it. We'll be back February 1st with the Intimidator. That is a race at Daytona in the next gen. It's a Daytona 500 race. March 1st, we'll be back with Sebring for a 2-hour race there. Dirt Derby, the Legends at Limaland on March 29th before the Speedway 500 on May the 3rd. 2 hours at Watkins Glen will be on May 31st with the Sim Science Grand Prix taking place on July 19th. Major Series Brickyard 400 will go on August 9th, the Portland GP on August 30th, the Adelaide 500 on September 20th, Miami Grand Prix on October 18th, and the Bristol Night Race will round out our season on November 8th. So we've got 11 races coming up for you in the American division after this one, all at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, same time this one started. Jake Richmond, Austin O'Neill, still on the front row. Pace car ducks in, and we're back green once again here at Five Flags.
Yeah, really good start there for Jake Richmond and Austin O'Neill. Austin was able to get on it real quick, just like he did the last restart, so he's going to keep...
Caution.
Caution out.
Eric Dallariva is around.
Eric Dallariva, once again, just having more issues here.
This is a little bit of a checkup in front of him. He got slowed up. Everyone kind of got almost into each other. Austin Peterson ended up being the one who sent Dallariva around.
Yeah. I can't really put any blame on anybody there for this one. It's just one of those, everybody checked up and it just happens so quick, at this track. So I can't really point fingers at anybody for this one.
Definitely a bit of a checkup right there that ended up causing that. As we will presumably get an EOL there for somebody, as we are back under caution for the 15th time tonight here on lap 213 for Jake Richmond, your current leader. We are at 18 cars still in the lead lap from Richmond in first, back to the 07 of Nathan Dowd. As we get ready to roll here, we're going to extend the caution once again, and the EOL will be given out to the 77 car of Austin Peterson. He will, I assume, drop to the back of the field here, and we will get ready to get going. Not going to be great news for Peterson, as he is now 1 lap down, and he will have to go through a lot to get that lap back. I believe the lucky dog, if we get another caution, will be Eric Dallariva. The lucky dog on this caution that we are under right now was the 19 car of Nick Kuhn, who will get his lap back. We'll see if he's able to climb his way out of 18th position. Biggest mover so far this race, Travis Warling still. He slid a little bit back in the field, but he has still gone from 36th up to P14, gain of 22 for the driver of the 90 car. Wayne Hutchison also up 21 from the LCQ, 33 to 12. Jeff Schmeier up 19 from 35 to 16. The biggest gain in the top 10 is Jackson Wade, who's gone from 23 to 5. As we continue to make our way around under caution here for Richmond and for O'Neill and for all these other drivers out here who are going to go, I would assume, as hard as they possibly can once this green flag does come back out to try and snag a win here in the Majors Garage Snowball Derby. Lights on the pace car will go back out, and we will get ready to go back green on lap 218. 82 to go for Jake Richmond and Austin O'Neill up here on the front row. As the pace car will pull in, we will get set. Richmond, O'Neill, Love, and Nash. We are green once again at Five Flags.
Yeah, once again, O'Neill was able to clear Derek Love on that outside. It just seems like Derek Love's just having a little bit of issues trying to get going on these restarts, because he had to quickly go ahead and just jump it down in front of Jackson Wade, his teammate. But your top 6 or 7 now is going to continue to run nose tail until we get back to that Calvin Heaton machine. Oh, Heaton up in the wall.
Problems there for the 12 of Steele as well, who's really been struggling as of late. Has that car dropped to 12th. He was running in 4th not too long ago, so it is not the way that Steele wants this race to be going. He's now under threat from Mike DeKirk back there, running in that 11th spot. Side-by-side battles brewing here a little further back. Jeff Schmeier door-to-door with Travis Warling. That's the battle for that 15th position. Those two cars unable to separate from each other.
Yeah, Warling is trying to work his way back through the field here, as he is stuck right now behind Ross Banfield. You know, we know he's fast, but time is starting to click out as they are finishing up.
Side by side for the lead. Austin O'Neill had the inside lane there on Jake Richmond for just a moment, but wasn't able to actually make anything of it, and he will continue to sit in that second position. Jake Richmond on the older tires in comparison to O'Neill, who has really been wanting to get that lead back. He led much of the second 100 laps of this race, and he is hungry. So is Derek Love, so is Jackson Wade. All of these cars on the same tire strategy as Austin O'Neill in second, and they all want to be the one to grab the first win of the season here in the Americas region in the Major Series.
Yeah, definitely, as these drivers continue to run single file. Richmond has 3 drivers behind them from the same team.
A lot of drivers are able to work together in races like this, and you can see how that's going on right now. Richmond, O'Neill, Love, the 3 cars that are in a pretty tight heap, as we have, it's Brian McGreevy down there slowing the apron. That might be what Austin O'Neill needs here, as he's got one more peak to the inside in 4. He'll actually hold it this time. Back down to the inside in 1 and 2. Battle for the lead here at Five Flags. Austin O'Neill is going to give Jake Richmond absolutely everything he can handle here. Richmond fighting back on the top. Does he have enough?
Yeah, really great side-by-side race here for your lead. Richmond, he's holding very strong on that outside as he's able to hold that momentum coming out of the corner. So O'Neill, he's got that preferred line, but as of right now, Richmond, he's not giving that up just yet.
No, the outside is a great line for defending, and you're seeing that right now. You're able to really limit what the car under you can do, and that's working for Richmond, but it might not be working for much longer. Great run right there to get back even with him across the line, but for the first time, Austin O'Neal led that lap. The momentum starting to swing in favor of the 5 car now as he's down on the inside. This battle still rages. Caution flies. Austin O'Neal is ahead at time of caution. It's Lynn Kinchlow in the 44 backwards.
Oh, man, I forgot to breathe once again. That was how good that racing was. Let's go back here and take a look, see what happened to that 44 machine in turn 1. Yeah, just got a little love tap from behind from that 58, and I couldn't tell who that was.
Play it back for you and we can see. Lynn Kinchlow contact with Stephen Paulison in the 58 was what sent Kinchlow around. And then that was the car that went around behind them was Tom Dreeling off of a hit from Nick Coon.
Wow. Definitely very, very tough there for sure.
Caution number 16 on the night flies as we are on lap 232. Stephen Paulison will get the EOL there. Pretty easy decision being made. And caution going to be extended once again here. We're doing some longer cautions over the last 5 or 6 laps, I think, just to give everybody the opportunity to take that EOL, to get themselves sorted out in the field. I know we were having maybe some issues with cars getting sorted under some of the early cautions, and these extended yellows are more just to deal with getting everybody back in the right order than anything else. So we continue to wait, and I know this wait is not great for these drivers. They really want to get going here. They want to be able to race, but when you have these long cautions, it can really start to wear on you in the driver's seat. I imagine some of these cars have really had to deal with it over these last 100 or so laps that we've been having these long cautions. They've really, really been going through it behind the wheel of these cars. It's going to be, I believe, about 63 laps to go when we get back green here for these drivers in your field. Austin O'Neal finally got the lead back. He was declared the leader when the caution flew, and as such, the 500 of Jake Richmond decided that was the time to come down and put tires on it, and a lot of cars agreed with him. Nathan Dowd, Shane Vickery, Robert Nash, Travis Warling, Jeff Schmeier, Ross Banfield, Wayne Hutchison, all into the pits right there, taking tires as well. So that's 8 cars who currently sit between 11th and 18th out on the racetrack. Austin Peterson, receiver of the Lucky Dog, will get back on the lead lap. Dallas Pataska, though, back up to 4th in all this, and he will see what he can do. If he can maybe track down O'Neal, Love, and Wade. He pit on the same lap, but he took 4 instead of 2. We'll see if that makes a difference at all.
All right, give me just one moment.
So we are back double file. Pace car is going to pull in this time. As we are going to get ready to roll. Austin O'Neal up in the catbird seat. He's got Derek Love to his outside. He's got Jackson Wade behind him. These are his 3 teammates here. 1, 2, and 3. And I'm sure they want to keep the podium reserved for their teammates. As the green flag flies, let's see what Pataska can do to interrupt this teammate 1, 2, 3. Wade is going to get down to the bottom. All 3 cars fall into line, and Pataska will try the top. to try and get a run on Jackson Wade.
Yeah, Pataska's absolutely on a tear now, trying to make his way back up to your race leader of Austin O'Neill. We know that O'Neill is really fast in that number 5 machine, and we're about to see what Pataska has for these two drivers right in front of him here. He's got 3 teammates actually in front of him that he's got to try to get by.
Time running out in this race. We are about 80% of the way through. Lap 240 at a 300 here in this Snowball Derby as we are ready to roll for the conclusion of this race here with the Major Series. Side by side back for P6. Bryce Roberts in the 21 is door-to-door with Kevin Heaton in the 32. These cars are going at it, and then they've also got Nathan Dowd back in this battle as well. Dowd in the 07 trying to recover from that accident. He is the first car in the field on fresh tires. Took 2 tires on that last caution. He's trying to use them to move his way back up into the top 5. First car is Kevin Heaton. Second car he'll need to clear is the 21 of Bryce Roberts.
Yeah, Nathan Dowd is definitely starting to make his way back up through the field after getting clobbered in a couple incidents about the halfway point in this race. So it's good to see Dowd making his way back up through the field here as he's continuing to fight, as we have that 47 of Mike Detert and Shane Vicari involved as well.
That's going to be caution number 17 on the night. And it comes from, like you said, Mike the Turk and Shane Vicari taking major damage there. This is a kind of a weird accident here for these two cars, as the Turk just came down into the corner, maybe a bit too hot, and got right into the right rear of Vicari and sent him into the wall at a vicious angle. You'll see it right there.
Oof.
That 27 car is going to take a huge hit.
Ugh.
And then the 47 car didn't get out clean as well, because he had problems. As you see the 19 get involved, that's Nick Kuhn. The 47 got loose and ended up putting himself in the wall hard as well. So a couple cars with some damage there for sure.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back and take a look and see what happened to that 47 machine there.
Hit, and then CF47 just tapped the wall. Wasn't as bad as I first thought, but it's definitely still a hit to that outside wall.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot worse for the 47. The bad part is he is going to take an EOL for cause of caution. Mike the Turk will go to the back of the field. So we are heading up on 50 to go here pretty soon. I believe it will be right around 50 to go as we get ready to go back green. Caution number 17 at Five Flags. What are you looking for over the last stretch of this race?
Oh man, this battle up here for the race lead is going to absolutely just get intense. And I mean, you guys need to make sure you have your seatbelts on, because I think it is absolutely going to get crazy. You know, Jake Richmond, he's in that number 500, back in that 6th spot. Yeah, there he is. You know, so he just came down pit road. Nathan Dowd coming up through the field as well. So, oh man, these guys, they've got a lot to go, a lot going on for them. And you know, Dallas Pataska also just came down pit road as well, so he's going to restart back at that 13th spot. So,
yeah,
oh man,
I was about to mention it.
It's about to go crazy.
I wonder if there's going to be a fuel concern for those cars who have stayed out this whole time, because, I mean, Pataska and quite a few cars, Warling, Vavrovsky, Nick Kuhn, and Kevin Heaton all down pit road there. You got to wonder, maybe, if there's a fuel concern for O'Neill, Love, Wade, and Roberts. If there is, the fact that we've had so many cautions and so many long cautions is certainly going to help them, but only time will tell how that plays out. With 51 to go, the 3 teammates with a stranglehold on the top 3, and they are not willing to relinquish it anytime soon. Lights on the pace car are out. We will go back green on lap 250 of 300 here from Five Flags, as it'll be on the front row. Austin O'Neill and Derek Love, Jackson Wade and Bryce Roberts, Jake Richmond and Nathan Dowd behind them. Green flag is out. Austin O'Neill gets the jump. We're off here at Five Flags.
Yeah, Austin O'Neill out too in a really good jump there. As you see, Derek Love and Jackson Wade, teammates running side by side for that second spot. And now at the end of the day, all they're doing is holding up Nathan Dowd, allowing their teammate to pull away here. And we're about to see Nathan Dowd put the gas around the outside here as he's going to try to make his way around Jackson Wade for that third spot now.
Not only him, but Jake Richmond is back here as well in this battle. This might actually help Jackson Wade a little bit because Nathan Dowd and Jake Richmond are now door-to-door doing battle. And as these cars go side by side, it's going to limit the momentum either one of them can generate. Caution to fly for the 18th time tonight. We have a pile-up involving lappers.
Stephen Paulison looks like he's involved in this one as well. Let's take a look here and see what we can see what happens.
Well, you're going to want to start with Lynn Kinchlow right up in front of him. This is Kevin Heaton in the 32 car. Into the back of Lynn Kinchlow, just sends the 44 around, and then Kinchlow hits to Baker and Stephen Paulison. Caution number 18, and I imagine that Kevin Heaton is going to get an EOL for that one. By the way, 30 seconds stop and hold for Mike DeTurk, so that's going to be devastating for that car.
Oh yeah, definitely.
As we are under caution number 18 on the night, time running out in this race. We are inside 50 to go. And it is... I mean, if this is a fuel concern for O'Neill and Love, this is certainly going to help. They're loving that. I can't see this strategy working out for Pataska otherwise because there have been so many cautions. And as we head down to the end of the race, I would not be surprised if there are more cautions that kind of prevent Pataska from getting back up to the lead that he held for much of this race. As we are going to have 5 laps to go until the green flag here under caution. Couple pit stops here for some cars further back. That includes cars who were in that accident, such as Stephen Paulison right there. Gonna come down. He is 7 laps down, so he's just kind of in here for vibes at this point. Same with a couple other cars. Lynn Kinchlow as well, 25 down. And the EOL will go to Mr. Calvin Heaton, number 32. He will take that penalty. Well, we'll see if Austin O'Neill is able to hold on to this lead here as we head down to the end of this race. Derek Love, Jackson Wade, Nathan Dowd, Jake Richmond, Bryce Roberts, Robert Nash, Chris Yatito, Ross Banfield, and Jeff Schmeier, the remainder of your top 10, with Dallas Pataska, Trevor Vevrovsky, Wayne Hutchison, Travis Warling, Austin Peterson, Nick Kuhn, Mike DeTurk, Kevin Heaton, Ryan Steele, and Eric Dallariva, rounding out your top 20 cars.
Man, it's about to get intense.
Lights on the pace car are out. It's Austin O'Neill, and it's Derek Love. We will go back green with 42 laps to go, and hopefully we'll run those 42 green. I think we all want to. Austin O'Neill will get a great jump there. He'll be back underway. Derek Love gets to second, and Jackson Wade immediately goes down to block the hard-charging Jake Richmond.
Jake Richmond trying to get everything he can here on within this last 41 laps now. So he's very strong right now on that inside, getting up to that 4th spot. And now he's got, now he still's got Bryce Roberts to his inside now. Oh, I'm sorry. Wrong car. That's Nathan Dowd who's got Bryce Roberts on the inside. So Jake Richmond, he has cleared.
Big loose moment there for the 500 of Richmond, and that is going to get these cars behind him right back to him. Nathan Dowd is there on the outside in the 07. Bryce Roberts on the inside in the 21. Both trying to challenge Jake Richmond, who's loose once again. That car not handling the way the 500 would like.
Yeah, I think it's the fuel level in these cars are starting to get low, I am assuming, and that is why we're seeing that 500's tank slap quite a few times already. But so far, he's been able to hold on to it, and he's now trying to start to pull away here from Roberts.
Dallas Pataska now trying to move up through the field side by side with Robert Nash. That is for P7. He's got the spot. You can't count him out just yet because he is on about 70 lap pressure tires. The question is just, does he have the time to actually use those 70 lap pressure tires to go up and chase down the cars in front of him? Right now, doesn't look like it, but anything could happen. He's within 2 seconds of Austin O'Neill, and he's got some speed in that 25 car.
Yeah, Dallas Pataska just slowly making his way back up through the field here as we are quickly coming down to 30 laps to go in just about 4 laps. So as long as he can bide his time, make his moves smartly and quickly, I think we'll see Pataska back up here at the front. Oh, trouble in front of him.
Oh! 21 of Bryce Roberts got bumped up and out of the groove and into the wall, and that car is wrecked hard. It kind of started with the 500 just getting loose in front of him. Roberts hit the 500, got hit by the 07, and got sent into the fence, and that is going to be bad for him. It's going to be great for Dallas Pataska as that car has now re-entered the top 5 with a move down to the inside of Nathan Dowd.
Yeah, that's definitely not what we wanted to see, and Bryce Roberts still having issues in that number 21 machine.
Oh, Nash in the fence hard.
Yeah, these drivers know it is go time.
Robert Nash doored the wall pretty good there, and Trevor Vavrovsky in the 10 car is going to get around the 99 of Nash, and he'll put himself up into P7. Battle for position all over this racetrack, but I don't think the top 3 are as likely to go at it. Austin O'Neill's pulled a big lead out with Derek Love and Jackson Wade keeping their distance. The action, if there is some here for the lead at the end of this race, might come from that 5th place car, Dallas Pataska. He's hard charging on these newer tires, but he's not that much faster than O'Neill. He needs to gain more time than he is if he wants any shot. Right now, it's a 2.5 second gap, and I just don't know if he's got enough.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see. You know, these guys are putting wicked lap times down of just about 16 seconds a lap, you know. So that's going to go by really quick at this type of a speedway. And so it's going to be up in the air. I think Dallas is going to need at least 1, maybe 2 more cautions.
He's going to need some help. That is for sure, because he is not fast enough right now. He was the fastest car on the track last time by, but it was by less than half a tenth. He really was not that much quicker than your top 3 cars. And he's got that dirty air from Jake Richmond in front of him that is only going to slow him down and make it harder and harder for that car to actually get the move done. And as the track warms up, the lap times, I'm trying to say, are getting higher as well. As we've got problems up in front here. This is the lap car of Bryce Roberts. If you recall, he smacked the wall earlier. He's in the wall again. He might need to get this thing down pit road because it is in very, very bad shape, and he can't really drive it right now.
Yeah, he's definitely got to do something with that number 21 machine, and you know, he's trying everything, you know, to keep it all going, but it's just going to be very interesting to see here what the stewards are going to do with this issue.
We've got Richmond and Pataska getting through 2 lap cars It is David Baker, Lynn Kinchlow up there on the high line. And now Patasco looked like he might have had a move there for fourth for just a second, but he backed it out. Wasn't able to get anything going. And now Richmond stays ahead of Patasco with 23 laps to go. And I think Dallas Patasco, barring a caution here late, might be out of the contention for the win because he cannot get back around that 500 car.
Travis Whirling is having issues. Oh, big issues for Travis Whirling.
That is the caution. That 90 car, it doesn't have a wheel on it. Huh. Very promising run. Not the way he wanted it to go out. Yeah, that's the 21 car.
Yeah.
We mentioned he might have needed to get off the track, and now he's going to take out one of the leaders. That is horrible for Travis Whirling right there. If I were him, I'd be upset.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back and watch it full speed. Yeah, that 21 looked like he kind of got up into that wall and then just came down the track.
That's why if you have a trash race car, maybe just better to get it fixed, because that he has ended Travis Whirling's race right there. We are back under caution for the 19th time tonight, and we're going to send it to a quick commercial. We'll have the last 20 laps when we come back. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Richmond now trying to work on the outside of Wade now on the exit of Ford, not able to do it, but Pataska, he's right there on the inside of Richmond now. These guys are duking it out for that fourth spot, and those three cars in front of them are loving it because probably the two of the fastest cars on track are currently running side by side, allowing them to take a breather and keep running around this track for 13 more laps. Oof. I give him about a I give him about a 7 out of a 10 for that landing. Could have been a little bit better, but let's go ahead and let's go ahead and go back, and we're gonna watch it full speed this time. Yeah. And that view that I just showed, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of got a remnants of uh, Ryan Newman at Daytona getting just slammed, on his side. That's what it kind of reminded me of there. Yes. Side by side now, Jackson Wade and Derek Love for that second spot. Right now, Jackson Wade has it, but Love wants it. These teammates really not giving each other much room here, as we have Pataska and Richmond's running side by side behind. The teammates will get themselves single file, and that's going to open up the door, and caution will wave. Which car? 70. There he is. Definitely a tough night for Verway in there in that 73 machine. we will have 3 green and white checkered attempts if we need it. Oh, all right. So this is not going to be overtime then. Man, but Tasca did everything he can to try to get back up towards the front, but it just did not work out in his favor. And man, just what a. I don't think I have ever seen a green white fly at the same time. Yeah, Derek, man, what an incredible run for you coming all the way back from that 12th spot. Walk us through that last probably I think it was probably about the last 50 laps. It was you, O'Neill, and Wade trying to hold off the rest of the field. What was that like, trying to protect the top three drivers, as you guys are all teammates? Just walk us through all that. Yeah, it was definitely a really good show from up here in the booth. With the second place, we just talked with O'Neill. He said, for the Intimidator, it's going to be a total different beast than what it was here tonight. How are you going to approach the Intimidator race early next month? Yeah, definitely a very good top three. And before we let you go, Derek, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to? Absolutely, it was definitely a lot of fun, and congratulations on your second. And we will see you at Daytona.
Tonight, Jackson Wade. Jackson, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. P3 23 to P3. How'd you pull that off?
Oh, I mean, it was a lot of pit strategy there. I can't remember what lap it was, but first time everybody pitted, I actually had an incident around lap 70 or so. It took a fast repair and some fuel. Everybody pitted around lap 100, and I stayed out. Ended up being in the lead, and then I realized that my tires really weren't as bad as I thought they were, and from there on, I quite literally held on to P3 for the next 200 laps.
You did a great job tonight. Is it a little harder when you have those 21 cautions and it kind of breaks your focus because you have to keep trying to fight off the cars behind you?
I definitely think it put a wrench into it, especially because our setup was built a little bit for that longer run. We were able to pull a gap, so it was a sketchy restart. Obviously, the front three were all teammates, so we were chatting up with strategy on how to keep everybody behind. But it was a lot on me to really be that first line of defense. And if I slipped up, then maybe these fast guys would have been able to have a chance on these restarts, being in the third position, but once we got rolling, we were able to get the strategy we wanted to on the restarts and go from there.
All right. Anyone you have to thank tonight?
Well, first of all, Fusion absolutely is big to thank with Austin O'Neill and Derek Love. They're helping each other build this setup that we were able to use today. So big thanks to those guys and everybody in our group helping each other practice and everything. And just friends and family who watch, and you guys up here in the booth for doing everything tonight, and race control, and just everybody in the upper class of this major series. It's really fun to race with them. So appreciate everybody.
All right, congrats on P3 tonight, Jackson Wade.
Thank you.
And that'll be the end of our coverage of the Majors Series here from Five Flags Speedway. And next up, February 1st, we've got the Intimidator race, Next Gen's 200 laps. It's a Daytona 500. Are you excited for that one, Mike?
Oh, I am absolutely stoked. Whenever I hear Daytona 500 put together, I'm ready for it, no matter what it is. I'm kind of back and forth on it because I won the Intimidator series last year in the 87, so I'm kind of going back and forth on if I want to go back and try to reclaim it or sit up in the broadcast booth and enjoy the show. So I'm always excited for Daytona, on track, off the track, just watching. Let's get to Daytona. I'm so ready for February 1st.
And that will be the end of our coverage here for Mike and myself, Sky Shrek, up here in the booth. Thank you so much for watching. And make sure you subscribe to the Major Series YouTube channel so you can catch us for that next race in February. Have a great night.